Things just got worse and worse and worse as the night went on. Again, valiant effort down the stretch for the Bucks. Just too little, too late. Let's go down and let's see what Coach Fletch and the rest of the crew has to say. And as always, go Bulls. So let's head into the locker room right now and see what the guys have to say about that one. Wow. Where do the Buccaneers go from here? What an incredible atmosphere. What a good win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They snapped a 7-game winning streak. How we feeling, Bucs Nation? It's time to party, baby.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Recher podcast. Happy November 6th, 2025. A very special day to me because without this day, without the person that was born on this day, I wouldn't be here right now. So happy birthday to my mama, who's celebrating her birthday up north in New York. Get to see her and my dad and my family in a couple weeks when I head up there for Thanksgiving. My dad's birthday was actually over the weekend on Saturday. So pretty cool that they're a couple days apart. And then my niece Harper, her birthday is tomorrow. She turns 3. So happy birthday to my dad, to my mom, and to my niece Harper. We'll wish her a happy birthday tomorrow as well. What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday to you and yours. What a special day. What a special day here in the Tampa Bay area and abroad. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. I tell you what, man, this has been a crazy freaking week. It really has. Big tournaments this weekend. We got the Denard Span Foundation gala tonight. So once I get out of here, we're only going to be on for about an hour today. I got to go get a haircut. Then I got to go get ready. Yeah, it's going to be a busy day. And then tournament this weekend with 2 teams. We got lightning games and sticks and stools. It's been a lot. It's been a little bit of a headache, but I feel like on Thursday, it's finally calming down a little bit. But man, I mean, what a great day. I mean, lightning late tonight. I love my West Coast games. Lightning at 10 o'clock tonight in Vegas against the Golden Knights. And of course, we know USF, what's going on right now. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. What a day. Sports Center on campus as we speak, getting ready for being on from 2 to 3. Everybody's heading over there at 1 o'clock, but I know they're already setting up now, getting ready over at the Marshall Student Center, and then USF and UTSA tonight, live from Raymond James Stadium. I wouldn't be there, or I would be there, but I can't. I can't be there because I have the Denard Foundation tonight. But yeah, man, really, it's a great time. A little colder today in Tampa Bay, so rocking the hoodie today. Got the old school Beckles and Recher hoodie. We will have hoodies for the Recher podcast coming out very, very soon. Again, I had to change the artwork. Not anybody's fault but my own. I had one direction I wanted to go in, and then as I got everything down, it's not that I didn't like the artwork. I just didn't like the idea. My idea was not good. So I think we're going to do something to the point of, the Recher podcast on the front and then something like the Wrecking Crew on the back. I think that would be pretty badass. So, yeah. Good stuff there. I love you all, and I appreciate all the support. Couldn't do this without you. Couldn't do it without Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC. Again, 813-244-0956 for all your commercial and residential needs. Russ is the man. I trust him. He's just such a great dude all the way around. And then, of course, EverHealth, everhealth.org for all the information. Go there. I went there last Friday to chat with Dr. Rodriguez. He gave me a really nice just kind of breakdown of what's going on with me. I've gone to multiple rheumatologists because I have inflammation issues, bad inflammation issues, and then go from there. So that's just my gray hairs, Jarrett. I appreciate you looking out, buddy. Nothing on here. That's my gray hair. I know some people are like, you got something on your mustache. That's the gray, buddy. That's unfortunately, sometimes I check it out too, but that's what the light happens and the way that it hits my I appreciate you looking out, brother. But yeah, that's just the gray right here. And that's why I'm going to get a haircut today. So there you go. Love me and all my imperfections, everybody. I love you all. I appreciate you, JG. I love you, buddy. And Jared Guthrie, our guy at 813 Preps. And we showed you guys on the program the other day, 813preps.com, helping our young kids, our young student athletes that are baseball players here in the Tampa Bay area. Go to 813preps.com. Follow on all social media platforms. Every little bit helps to try to tell these, help these kids get to the next level, try to give them the exposure that they so desperately deserve. And man, we're going to be doing some good stuff with 813 Preps going forward, man. I want to even do more and donate my time so we can really help these kids out now that I'm back on the scene coaching baseball here in the Tampa Bay area. I want to even take it to the next level because there's a lot of great kids and they need exposure. They really do. Let's take a look at, of course, I want to hear from you guys. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them there at the bottom of the screen. If you guys want to get in on the conversation, the link right now is in the chat. StreamYard.com/F9B7MS55RK. Just click on the link. It's easier in the chat, whether you're on the phone, whether you're on the laptop, and you can join in on the conversation. Our guy, Eddie Encina, will join us on the program at 12:30 today because, again, we're only going to be on for about an hour and change. Because Ed Encina is going to join us on the program at 12:30 instead of 1:30. Late night for him. But, of course, I got to get the heck out of here. I'll answer this question, Benny. Question, Coke or Pepsi? For me, I don't drink soda anymore. I definitely, if I drink a soda, it might be a Sprite. It might be a ginger ale. I don't drink dark soda anymore. But I was more of a Coke guy than a Pepsi guy when I did. If it's wild cherry Pepsi, I'm in. If it's a cherry Coke, I'm in. I love cherry soda. That's I don't drink dark soda, but if I'm at a place that has a fountain drink, every once in a while, I'll just I'll put the cup in there and I'll bro, that you got to do it, right? I hit it there, just a quick boom and just quick tip it back, man. I love cherry Coke. Love, love, love. Amazing. What's up to Nathan Elliott? You are the best, pal. Cherry Coke is the bomb. You got that right. Again, questions, comments, concerns. Our guy, David Terry. It's Friday Junior. I like that. Friday Eve. Let's go Bulls and Bolts. What is up, Wrecking Crew? Janet Best, look at her checking in from Alabama. Who is better than you? Dolan in the house. What's up, all? Happy birthday to Mama Recher. Yes, happy birthday to my mama. Thank you very much, DT and Benny. Look at our guy here, Richie P, coming by as well. Eddie, can't stay but to listen to the replay at work. Let's go Cats. Let's go Bolts. Familia, have a wonderful day. Bart Hill's always here. Bart, I always appreciate you, man. You've been around forever. And a $10 super chat. Thank you so much for our guy JG from 813 Preps. This is the way we're going to keep this thing rolling. It's our sponsors, our partners, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, EverHealth, and our super chats like our guy JG, Jared Guthrie from 813 Preps. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you so very much. Guys, every little bit helps. So that is certainly very, very much appreciated. Benny, Jay, I'm concerned about Chris Godwin Jr. We'll talk about that here in a second. Who's going to the game? Patriots-Buccaneers game on Sunday. Nate, one of these days I'm going to come to that freaking tailgate. I promise. I won't be there this weekend because I'll be coaching, but one of these weeks, I guarantee I'll be there. And shout out to Rolly, Lady Evil 3. I don't know why it's switched. Let's go Bulls tonight. You got that. It used to just be like your name. So we would just say Lady Evil. It would just say Nathan Elliott. It would just say Janet Best. But for some reason, it changed to these @ signs. So I don't know if these are your @ signs for your YouTube sign in or what have you, but it's just very strange. I don't know. I don't control these kind of things. I do not know. All right. Buccaneers practice today. Not much of a change, guys and gals, unfortunately. And this is from Rick Stroud from the Tampa Bay Times. No Bucky Irving, no Chris Godwin, no Hassan Reddick at practice today. Luke Gedeke continues to practice, and it's going to be a call later this week, but suspect he will play. This is from Rick Stroud. Bucs have a 21-day window to activate him. I would highly doubt that Luke Gedeke would be practicing with the team in this fashion if he wasn't playing on Sunday. And again, you never know. It's never a guarantee. And I hope you guys understand this when we talk about this on the show. When we talk about injuries in the NFL, because it's completely different than the rest of the sports, because the way it's controlled, the way you see 30 minutes of practice, the way there's injury reports, it's different in the National Football League than anywhere else. When you're listening to people give their opinion about injuries, listen to the people that have been doing this for the longest time, because they can bank on their experience of what they've seen to kind of give you an idea and speculate what they think is going to happen on Sunday. Is it ever concrete? No, it's not. even a guy like Rick Stroud, even a guy like Greg Allman, even a guy like Scott Reynolds. That's why when Rick Stroud tweets this out, he says Luke Gedeke continues to practice, and it's going to be a call later this week. But suspect he will play. Suspect is the operative word there. We just don't know. We've seen guys not practice all week. You're like, no way this guy's playing. And he plays. Then you see a guy practice all week, and all of a sudden, game time, no, they're going to hold him back. I mean, look at Emeka Ibuka. Nobody in their right mind thought that guy was going to be healthy the next week and play. Now, healthy, we don't know how healthy he was, but he didn't miss a game. That doesn't happen very often. You don't know about how people heal. You don't know about the advances in modern medicine. But what I can tell you when I'm giving you these injury reports, and again, it's obviously secondhand information because I can't go there. It's 11 a.m. I wouldn't be able to get back here for the podcast in time. I wish it was at 10 because I would definitely be there. But from what we get from Rick and Greg and Scott and the other authorities covering the Buccaneers, you can get an idea just based on past experiences of guys at return, right? So not seeing Bucky Irving and Chris Godwin and Hassan Reddick does not bode well for their status on Sunday. Now, does it mean that they're not going to play? Not necessarily, but if you had to, lean on one side or the other, okay, I would say that they wouldn't be playing. I would say that they have an issue that is something that needs to be addressed, and they're going to be out for this Sunday's game. But I don't know. Would I gladly be wrong? 1,000%. 1,000%. Robert Cochran's here. There he is. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's up, man? Kind of licking my wounds after that blown game last night, but
you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Yeah, 8-1's not bad. 8-1's not bad.
Listen to you. 8-1's not bad. So humble, this guy. Thunder fan you are.
Rocking the jersey. I'm not gonna get the blame put on me this week. Nope.
What do you got for a score prediction for tonight, Robert? USF and UTSA. Come on, you're the genie here, buddy. You're the prognosticator.
UTSA isn't great. UTSA, sure, did they beat Tulane? Yes. Mm-hmm. But I think we saw with UAB beating Memphis, like every dog has its day.
That's right. That's right.
I really think it's going to be a 2-touchdown win for USF tonight.
Oh, okay. So it's all right.
Kind of a bounce back game. Byram gets going. I haven't heard anything about Chaz Nimrod, but hopefully he comes back tonight.
Just two touchdowns, huh? So what, like 42-28, something like that?
Something like that. I could see it being larger, like a 28-point win or something like that. But I feel like if Nimrod doesn't come back, which last I heard he was still in a boot, and but if Nimrod doesn't come back, I feel like we saw against Memphis how our offense can sputter at times. But I also feel like over the bye week and this week at practice, Coach Golish has come out like the coach in Remember the Titans. Football ain't fun no more, is it?
Yeah, right.
I feel like he's gonna get us there, and I've said earlier in the week, and I've said it since we lost to Memphis. Everything's still in front of us.
Yeah, time to run the table, buddy.
We take care of business. We're in there like swimwear, and
I love it. Beautiful, man. Robert, you're the best. I appreciate it, buddy. Enjoy the game tonight.
Yes, sir. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls is right. Our guy Robert Cochran checking in from OKC. 8-1 Thunder. We don't feel bad for you, man. You're kicking ass right there in the National Basketball Association. Yeah, we'll talk more Bulls here in a couple minutes, but I want to get back to the Bucks talk real quick. Will the Bucks ever get healthy? I don't know. There's no guarantee. I don't expect Bucky or Chris to be back till December, Dolan says. Maybe. I that's the scary thing about this entire situation is it wasn't just, and shout out to Nate, Luke Edikia's practice was no extra padding or crazy wraps from what is seen. That's good. Nathan Elliott saying, I do not see Godwin, Evans, McMillan, or Bucky coming back at 100% this season. Well, we know Evans and Kalijah Cansey, right? That's a playoff thing. And talking to Dr. Rodriguez, and we had this discussion yesterday. Remember, he usually joins us at 12:30 on Thursday, but he went on vacation last night, so we had him on yesterday on the program. He was letting us know about all the intricacies of the Jalen McMillan injury and the broken bone and how just the entire thing and being in the neck brace and how it's one thing to heal, it's another thing to strengthen, and then it's a completely other thing to know that you're going to be playing freaking football. Like, that shit's scary, man. Like, to think about that. I really don't think Jalen McMillan's coming back this season. And again, if he comes back, I'll gladly be wrong. And I'll put my hand up and say, Shay, good for you, dude. But, I mean, Godwin and Bucky are the guys you would think would be back soon. Luke Gedeke, I think he's back. And it's funny, like Benny saying, who would thought Luke Gedeke would save the season? He's playing so much better now that he's moved to right tackle these last couple of years than he was when he was playing left guard. And it's just better suited for being out there. When I watch this team and I look at what their strength needs to be, it still needs to be running the football, play action, and taking the heat off of Baker Mayfield. Now, I think we kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit is, we had these conversations about Baker Mayfield being the MVP. And I don't think that was the wrong conversation to have at that time. But we do know what Baker is. And we do know what Baker is in comparison to some of the other quarterbacks in the league. And I don't think that's a slight to Baker at all, right? I think when Baker's at his, like, you are who you are. Like, I don't think that's, everybody always wants, well, you're not this guy and you're not that guy. And it's like, okay, that's fine to recognize that. But, who's the top 3 quarterbacks in the league? Who's the top 4 quarterbacks in the league? Okay. In no particular order, right? Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen. Only one of those guys has won a Super Bowl. And the other 3 have been in the league for a little while now. It's not like those 3 guys have been in the league for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. It's been a while. Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl, and they lost to the Rams. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson haven't even been there. But what those guys do, right, they don't necessarily, you don't think about Patrick Mahomes and go, he needs a running game. You don't really say that about Joe Burrow. You're like, man, I wish he had a defense. Josh Allen, can anybody help him? Lamar Jackson, can he really take the success from the regular season to the postseason? Like, those are the kind of the narratives for those guys. As much as we love Baker Mayfield, he is at his best when he himself is playing complimentary football. Does it mean that he can't throw 350 yards? He sure as hell can. He's a hell of a talent. But he is at his best when this team is running the football. He's able to operate, play action, make plays outside the pocket, get multiple people involved, run himself every once in a while. But the key for Baker's success is always going to be balance. And we said this very early on, and I'm going to say it again now. If you see Baker throwing the ball 40 to 50 times, that's not good for the Bucs. It's not good. When you have discussions about, and again, one of the smartest things that Ian has ever told me, and I take this and I just want you guys, when you're looking at success and you're looking at successful NFL teams, go look at the pass attempts and the rushing attempts. Look at what that balance is like. And a lot of times, the teams that are more balanced are the teams that win. Run the football. Run the football. Run the football. Even if Bucky's not back, Rashad White, Sean Tucker, Like lean into these guys. If you lean into these guys and you run the football and stay balanced, I think you see the best version of Baker. No doubt about it. Ed said he's not coming on until I get cool entrance music like Erlinson. You're getting some, buddy. You are getting some. And it's funny because, and for those of you that have just tuned in for the first time today, we just added some musical stuff, and I had no idea that this was a thing. I don't know so much about that one. So yesterday, as I'm cutting up the Eric Erlinson interview, I'm listening back to the music, and I was like, I don't know how this is going to sound because it's coming through the StreamYard platform. And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to really sound. Is it going to be good? It sounded pretty good. And the thing is that it's generic music. You can't have like copywritten music because if you do that, then your stuff's going to get flagged. They're going to take it down from YouTube. I can't afford to do that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not paying for, I can't do that. So you give all these like generic music beds a listen, but listen, we did it with Eric Erlinson. We'll do it with Eddie Encina as well. I think we'll do it for, most of our guests, but if I can get some like, what do you call that? What's the word? Blank free music. Oh, somebody help me. Come on. Oh shit. I can't think of the word. Oh my god, I used to do this all the time for wrestling. Oh my god, why can't I remember? You guys know what I'm talking about. It's music that you can play. It's free. You won't get bagged on it. It's something free music. Holy shit, I cannot remember. But we'll play some for Double E. We played some for Double E yesterday. Our other Double E, our pal, Eddie Encina, the original Loose, is going to be joining us here momentarily. Love chatting with Ed about a little bit of everything. Make sure, guys, we talk about this all the time. Support local. Support local. Our friends at the Tampa Bay Times seeing some news today from the Rays. Taylor Walls, he'll be back. Brandon Lau, he'll be back. I saw something yesterday on a funky trade, maybe the Rays trade Brandon Lau and Yandy Diaz to Seattle Mariners. I expect it to be a wild and crazy offseason in the MLB as teams try to, knock off the Los Angeles Dodgers from their perch. I saw Ariel Helwani, one of the big names, talking about, I thought they were, talking smack about the Dodgers and how they celebrated. Man, so the victor goes to spoils, man. Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You win, you do what you got to do. I mean, listen, it could be crass. It could be off color. It could be disrespectful. It could be unsportsmanlike, but you're the winner. The winners write the history books, guys and gals. It's just the way it goes. Some people may have thought that Tom Brady was over the top, drinking his avocado tequila or whatever the hell it was. And the boat parades were too much. Who gives a crap what those people think? Celebrate. Enjoy your life. You only live once. Today is a very special day when it comes to USF athletics, and everybody is formulating right now around the Marshall Student Center on campus. I implore you guys to head on over there when the show is done today. Go support them. They're going to be live on SportsCenter from 2 to 3. Everybody's starting to circle around 1 o'clock, but I'm sure there's people heading over there right now. I just saw some pictures earlier. This is a big thing, and this is a big reason why there was a lot of excitement around Rob Higgins being the new CEO of athletics for USF and also bringing a guy like Derek Brooks on board, because it's not just about the relationships here locally. It's about expanding this brand. It's about fundraising. It's about bringing money into this program and to make sure that this is not just an also ran. It's not just a stepsister to some of the other bigger athletic programs, not just in the country, but in this state. And we know that schools like Florida and Florida State and Miami, they have a huge head start and they've been around for a lot longer, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't effort to close the gap. And with USF and all the great things that they've been doing, it's hard to think that it's a bad idea to get involved with South Florida right now. And what Rob Higgins was able to do with the Tampa Bay Sports Commission and to be able to bring so many top tier events to our area, his track record and his resume, I mean, it speaks volumes. And he's such a great guy. We've had him on the show here before. He's just a good dude down to his core. He bleeds green and gold. He loves the Tampa Bay area. So if you're going to put money on anybody to get this done and to really take USF to that next level, I mean, Rob Higgins is really the best bet. And this is even, I would have said that even before they brought him on as the CEO of athletics. He's a tireless worker. He's got such fantastic relationships around the city, around the state, around the country, around the world. My money's on Rob to figure this out. And then you bring in a guy like Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks is one of the most respected guys that you're just ever going to meet. And we asked him this on Monday when he joined the program, and it's up on the channel here on YouTube if you missed it. A great chat with Derek Brooks Monday afternoon. And I told him, I said, hey, when we spoke to Ian before, one of the reasons to him why this makes a lot of sense is because of Leroy Selman. And we know the impact that Leroy Selman had on this community. And if there was anybody to ever take that mantle as kind of like Mr. Tampa Bay, I mean, Derek Brooks is that guy. And Derek said as much. Double Nickel said, hey, man, that's another part of the reason why I came here, to continue on that legacy, to take the program that he helped build and to just shine an even brighter spotlight on it. That means a lot. And that's the one thing that Tampa doesn't have when it comes to their fan bases. It's just, you don't have generational existence. You don't have generational experience. You don't have fathers and grandfathers and great grandfathers that were all Rays fans or all USF fans. That takes time to build. And I know a lot of people complain about it. You can't complain. What are you going to do? You can't go on a time machine and say, oh, we'll start the Rays in 74. That's just not the way it goes. Like, you don't have that same type of experience. Like, I didn't have a decision, really, right? Like, what was I going to do? My great-grandparents were Yankees fans, right? Like, that's just the way it goes. Now my niece and nephew it's like 4, 5, 6 generations of people that watch baseball in the Bronx, right? To think that my great-grandparents are watching Babe Ruth play, think about that. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. And now my niece and nephew are going to see Aaron Judge. Just think about that gap from 1927 to 2025. And Rechers have been there watching the Yankees. Like, we just don't have that in the Tampa Bay area. It is what it is. I don't think that's anything to really complain about. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. But it's what you do to close that gap, what you do to plant those seeds and cultivate the farm system, as we used to say when we were trying to grow our baseball facility back in the day. I tell kids all the time, don't root for the Yankees, because that's what I rooted for when you were a kid. Root for the Rays. Support your hometown team. Go out there. The Rays got to help themselves too. And that's one of my big things too. And people say, oh, well, this isn't a baseball city. This isn't a baseball town. Now that I'm back in the groove and I'm back in the environment now, and I see thousands of kids on baseball fields every single weekend, don't tell me this isn't a baseball state. Don't tell me this isn't a baseball city. I see it all the time now. And the Rays just have to do a better job of understanding that and developing those relationships, because that is what is going to help your brand go. That's going to help your fan base. And it's just going to draw more interest and attention from people outside of here. And that's what we're seeing from USF. I hope the Rays take a page of that, take a page out of the book of what we've seen from the Lightning and from USF, because it really is a hidden gem here. Baseball is popular here, but the Rays just haven't been cool. Imagine if the Rays were cool. Watch out, man. I think it's really an untapped, huge potential here in the Tampa Bay area. I mean, you saw a sliver of it with Randy Arozarena. Look how cool Randy Arozarena was. Randy Land, great idea from the Rays. People were eating that up. They didn't want to miss that. But you went to games and you knew that Randy was that guy. They need to do more stuff like that. So it's like, hey, what are you doing on Friday night? If you're missing the Rays game, you're missing out. It's just not like that. Hopefully it changes with the new ownership. There's no guarantee, but hopefully it does change, because Rays fans deserve better. And as somebody myself who loves baseball, and you think about the people that love baseball. And we'll talk to Ed in a bit. Like, Ed's a big baseball guy, obviously covering the Orioles for as long as he did. Rick Stroud, who covers the Bucks, loves baseball. Look at how many people were talking about the World Series. Man, baseball, it's like it's in your blood. And I just hope that we really kind of reach that peak here in the Tampa Bay area with the Rays. It'd be really, really nice. All right. Like, there it is. When we're getting excited, little dance pop music. Hey, we'll switch it up. Lo-fi? I don't know about that one. I like the dance pop one. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage, the beat writer for the Tampa Bay Times.
Coming to the stage. What kind of podcast is this?
It's a talent show, buddy. Talent show. This is when you're gonna start breakdancing on the cardboard box.
I didn't hear anything.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Oh,
I didn't hear it. This is even worse. This is just flagrant disrespect, Jay. It's Eric, all this entrance music and everything like that.
Everybody else can hear it.
I can hear it.
See, I'm loving this. Look, see?
No, I have to listen back.
You have to listen back to it. I got to turn it off so I can hear you. All right, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Not much. How are you?
I'm good, pal. What kind of hat is that?
Also, one of my favorite hats. So you talk about baseball. I grew up an Orioles fan. Got to live out the covering them for 7 years. And Eddie Murray was my favorite player.
Oh God.
So it says Steady Eddie on it, and it has Eddie Murray. So I don't know if you can see that. But
yeah, it's great.
So that's one of my favorite hats.
I love that. Such a good player, man. One of the best switch hitters of all time. 503 home runs.
Yeah, I think 3,000 hits too.
He's one of those guys, man. One of those guys, just a consummate professional, really, really good player. So yeah, that's a good hat to have, buddy. I like that. But you heard what I was saying about baseball in the Tampa Bay area. Like, it's crazy, man, because there's a lot of baseball here, and just the Rays, if they're smart and they find a way to kind of tap into the culture, and man, I just think it's something that it's just an untapped resource.
Yeah, no, I mean, I remember my days covering preps here, and as much as you talk about, how much it's grown over the years, and like how we go by every little league field and it's packed is, one thing I never got, it was just given the history of baseball in Tampa and, the kind of players that this area produced, I always thought it was amazing. So you can never tell me that Tampa Bay is not a baseball area just because of you don't produce that kind of talent, and whether it's, from Belmont Heights to, St. Pete to even like the North Sun Coast and places like that, into West Tampa, and Brandon, the places the talent that we've seen come out of Tampa is amazing. And so you can't tell me it's not baseball here. I think one thing you mentioned that made me think of something is, I have Raleigh, obviously he's taking a nap, but when you're at the dog park's kind of its own little community, right?
Right.
There's so many times when I hear nowadays that it's like, I hear guys be like, hey, I'm thinking about going to the Lightning game, or hey, I'm thinking about going to the Bucks game, on Sunday or whatever. Mm-hmm. You just don't hear that much about the Rays, of like people like out of nowhere being like, what am I going to do on Sunday afternoon? What am I going to do? Tonight I got a night off or something like that, and I think the thing that the Lightning and the Bucks have done, and obviously NFL is a little bit different than necessarily hockey, but they've created this place where you want to go. I think that's really the big thing is, and that's, I've always thought that the Trop kind of gets a bad rap, and but it's clear that it's about going somewhere, and it's about, I think places in Tampa, the whole notion of like, well, there's too much stuff to do in Tampa. There's everyone's got something else going on. You're going to the beach, you're going on your boat, you're going fishing, whatever. People love baseball, man. Like, and like you said, I mean, just the way that people followed a World Series that so closely that really not a lot of people really had a dog in the fight on. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that so many people that talked about every game of that series, and not not just Game 7, but just how exciting it was, and how cool it was. You know, you're introduced to things that maybe you don't see quite as often when you watch postseason baseball. And you know, so it'll be interesting to see what this new ownership group does. I think I'm excited about it. I think that, you know, it's good to get up that kind of breath of fresh air after so many years. And that's not any disrespect to the Sternberg regime or anything like that, because when they bought it from Vince Namoli, it was the same feeling,
Right.
you know. And obviously, you know, they have a good track record of success on the field. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, like it's funny you mentioned that stuff, because I think about it all the time. Being a baseball guy is how, you know, it's that untapped thing of being able to fill a ballpark. And yeah, I don't believe that this isn't an area that can or will be able to do it. It's just a matter of how.
Yeah, it's definitely it's the $1 billion question here in the
Yeah.
Tampa Bay area. I guess the $1 billion question for the Tampa Bay Lightning is, what the hell are they going to do with this freaking power play, Ed Encina? You got to talk to Jeff Halpern. What's going on here with that man advantage?
Yeah, so you know it's funny, because I heard you talking to Eric about this yesterday a little bit. Is when you look back to that Colorado game, you know, I honestly think that was the biggest difference. You know, I think that the Lightning played pretty damn good game. I think
I love that game.
they had a couple things go their way. They committed too many penalties. You know, like you guys talked about yesterday, that too many men penalty was a killer early on, just because, you know, you get this big momentum boost from killing something off, and then you have a dumb penalty like that. But you know, just looking back on that, like, you know, both teams got probably right as the same amount of power play time. You know, the Lightning had 3 shot attempts in their 6 minutes. The Avalanche had 15 shot attempts, 9 scoring chances to 1 scoring chance for the Lightning. And, you know, the more you watch it, and you know, it's been a work in progress, obviously, since Steven Stamkos left. But to me, the one thing that I don't understand is you still have elite level talent on that first level that most teams don't have.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, I remember when Nikita Kucherov was talking about the power play, and, you know, it was about, it's about, you know, keeping the PKs honest, right? That's the most important thing, right? Spreading them out, it's all about the space, right? And obviously, you know, you can say, you know, the left circle's never been the same since Steven left, and that's true. But that doesn't mean that with 4 elite players of the capability that you have on that power play, obviously led by Kucherov, but Braden Point, who's one of the best power plays, you know, Braden Point and Jake Gensel led the league in power play goals last year, you know, and Victor Hedman up top. You can't tell me this can't work out. Like, and you need a guy there that commits to that philosophy of spreading it out too, but on that left side. But it doesn't need to be Steven Stamkos, and you know, it doesn't need to be like one of the best power plays. And actually, I think I told you this a couple weeks ago. It's like, it was one of these plays where they had Point out on the left wing, and you know, he kind of came out to the top of the circle, you know, a little bit more skating around than necessarily we see with this unit. And you know, Jake Gensel is such a guy that's so good down low around the net, creating space for himself. He comes up to the top, almost just right below the dot, you know, finds space, gets the puck, and then brings them. And then it's all about, you know, picking your poison with these guys. You know, they're so good. Like you have talent on this power play that's like most teams probably 20 out of 30 teams would just die for, you know. And then, you know, once they have to respect this, they have to respect that, and then, you know, you have a guy coming over here who's not going to leave Nikita Kucherov, you know, and so you have this wide open spot. I think it was Bjorkstrand that actually scored it from the bumper spot. And it's just like, they just need to be a little bit more creative with movement, with using the reputation they have as a power play. And, you know, I do think that Victor Hedman probably needs to take a little bit more onto, you know, kind of putting a little bit more pressure on the net, you know, making the net something that, you know, he's had a lot of shots that he's put on that have missed or blocked. Right. I think he needs to be a little bit better. But when you have guys like Gensel who can skate, you have guys like Point who, even though I love what he does in the bumper, he's an you know, almost unparalleled talent with the puck on his stick. You know, so when you have him out there, maybe on that left wing, he can do things. You know, and I honestly don't. And you know, I'm not a coach. I don't. You know, I've never played the game, but you know, you look at the talent that they have still, even without Steven Stamkos, and it just seems that they're just not utilizing it in the right way. You know,
So
who's
this fall on, Ed? That's my big thing is, right. Like, all right, so yeah, the players are good enough, but
right.
when you get into the man advantage, a lot of that is tactical stuff, right? How
Right.
are you going to set up? You know, my big point of contention is, because I watch a lot of hockey, is like I'll watch Edmonton or I'll watch Colorado and I'll watch the Rangers and I'll watch that it's not puck movement, it's player movement. And then
Right.
I see, yeah, the Lightning can go 2 for 3 on the power play, but they'll go 0 for their next 8 because they're just standing still. And
Right.
now I understood why it worked with Stamkos, because it was, all right, if Hedman's being aggressive at the point, shooting the puck, they'd have to collapse on him. And then it's pick your poison right, left with Stamkos and Kucherov. And then if you want to work down low, whether it was a Killorn, Cirelli, Gensel, go get the puck. And then you have Point in the, in the middle there, right in the slot, doing his thing. But when you don't have Stamkos, then having a puck movement power play doesn't make sense to me, because now you don't have that one-timer on the left side. Bjorkstrand's really not that guy. I know they wanted him, but he's not a guy he's not a Pasternak. He's not an Ovechkin. He's not a Zibanejad. He's not a Stamkos. Like, he doesn't have a howitzer like that. So I can understand, but it just doesn't make sense. Now, who does that fall on, Ed? Is that on Halpern? Is it on Cooper? Because something's got to give, because I think about it too, Ed. Like, and I say this a lot. If they're somewhere else, people might be the picket. You know, they're lucky they're in Tampa, right? The pitchforks might be out if they're in Toronto with this type of talent on the power play and them underperforming, because it's not just in 2025. We've seen this for the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's tough because from watching them every day, I don't think I've seen them work on power play and practice now from day one of training camp to now as much as they do. So it's not a lack of
effort,
of effort, or not trying things or trying to commit to things. So I don't want to put it on Jeff Halpern at all, but I mean, obviously he coaches the power play. I just wish
he's got to, though, right, Ed? I mean, that's my thing. And like, I understand, because he's not the guy that's out there playing. He's not the guy. I get that aspect. And I'm not that guy, like, fire the coach, get rid of the coach. But if they're talking about people being held responsible as far as players go, you're sending Mitchell Chafee through waivers. What's going to happen with Gage Gonsalves and Darren Radish now that these guys are coming back? Like, he's got to, right? I mean, he's got to wear some of this too, right? He's got to take some of the onus.
Yeah, and I think that the going back until last year, like I don't know how many times I've heard the whole this is a process. So, it's coaching. I think, we have seen that unit overpass even when Steven Stamkos was there,
right.
And there is something to the fact too that, and this isn't on Oliver Bjorkstrand, I don't think, but like we've seen it fail in other ways, is again, going back to the elite level of the other 4 guys on this unit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy being that other guy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, we saw, whether Darren Radish was the right guy when they tried him on that side or not. He was scared shitless to shoot. It was very clear.
Yeah, he was.
You put Mitchell Chafee, out there. Like, those guys are scared to shoot because they don't want to.
Yeah.
They know they're almost thinking, how can I possibly have a better scoring opportunity than these 4?
Great
point. And so, I think that's kind of the coaching process. And like I said, I'm not privy to like those kind of conversations, what they do, but like, whoever's there, like, make sure that guy knows, like, go for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and it's like, and it's hard to say because, like, but again, like you guys were saying yesterday, like, I think they've got to stick with a guy like Bjorkstrand. I don't like Kucherov on that side, on the left side. I don't think it works. I don't think he looks comfortable. I don't think, I think you need right-handed shots, and obviously when you open up the power play and you have Kucherov on the half wall on the right side, you have two. If you have two fast shots available on the right side, right-handed shots, like, it just seems to work more, But again, I think it's a combination of that movement. But what I saw the other night in Colorado with that setup, obviously the entries were a disaster too. But and like I think you guys were saying yesterday, is like pretty predictable. It's like you just kind of know what's guy is going to be there, and when all you have to do is line 4 guys up right there at the blue line, and you know, pick where you're going there. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that's it's a harder ask than maybe most people might think to play that spot.
Yeah.
Just because whether you're in the bumper, whether you're on the left side, whatever it is, just because I think your natural instinct when you play with that caliber of players is to defer. And you have guys when they come in, and whether that's a Bjorkstrand, whether that's a Mitchell Chafee, whether whoever it is, and you enter that room, and no matter how welcoming they are, and we know that the Lightning veterans are very so that way, and they do everything possible to make you feel comfortable in that scenario. But the spotlight that is on the power play, and not to mention that there was a guy who wore 91 who's going to have his number in the rafters there on it before. But I just think that's a tough assignment, and it's like you've just got to get in. So whoever that guy is, just get in their head like you got to do it, And like you said, I thought Bjorkstrand had scoring chances on the power play. I think he looked pretty uncomfortable though on that side, and especially up against on plays up against the wall, And I think that's really kind of what kind of bumped him out of that spot, But again, like I don't necessarily know what prompted the change to, bump him out and put Hagel in and move Cooch around and stuff like that. I mean, like, and I don't think that works, to be honest. Like I said, I think it's it might have worked when you put Cirelli in there that one time in the bumper, but it's I don't know. I think you just gotta pick guys and stick with it, and make those guys know, that they're 5 pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah, work in progress, no doubt. Jennifer wants to know where's Raleigh. She wants to have an idea, and then there he is.
Came up, he had his ball. We were playing with his football. There he is. You want to say hi?
Hey, bud. Raleigh. Hey, bud. What's up? And your mom wants to let you know. Jay, big update. Tampa Prep won the Class 2A state volleyball championships. Go Terps. First time since 2004. We are so back. Good job, Tampa Prep.
Raleigh, we heard about that today the past couple of days.
You heard it. That's right.
Yeah. Congratulations. Leanna Taylor used to coach down at Plant, had won a couple state championships there. Tampa Prep alum. She great person, and I covered a couple of those Plant high teams in volleyball when I was covering preps, and it's cool to see her win at her alma mater. So, and also Shannon Encina, I do know her very well, and she was a former 3-time state champion in volleyball at Tampa Prep.
Wow.
Too. Yeah,
3-time state champion.
Yeah.
Wow, Shannon. I mean, look at you, Ed. Marrying up, buddy. I like that. Volleyball superstar. Little does anybody else know here. 3-year varsity starter for volleyball, Jay Recher.
Really?
Central Islip High School. Yes, definitely. Broke my nose in 9th grade JV. Center middle block didn't want to block. Broke my nose right here. Yeah, terrible. I broke my nose as a freshman playing volleyball and as a senior playing baseball. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
Great stuff. But yeah, when
it hits you right there, you never know. Like I had one knock me out once, a grounder knocked me out when I was playing shortstop.
Oh.
I like woke up like 5 minutes later and I was like, where am I? Like I literally had no idea where.
Yeah. I mean, because we did a 2-man serve receive for our high school team, and it was me and my buddy Min Dang. We were because it was really good, like for your form for fielding ground balls, and it also helped me because I used to train with weights on my ankles, so it helped me skating for hockey too. So it was the perfect sport in between hockey season and baseball season. Yeah, man, I used to be able to I was 5'9", and I could touch the rim because of working with volleyball. And everybody's like, you can't touch the rim. And I couldn't dunk, but I would slap the crap out of the rim. And everybody's like, oh my God, you're a white guy with ups.
Yeah, you're that guy with the ankle weight.
Right? I had to, man, because I couldn't jump. I was only 5'9", and we didn't have a lot of kids on our team. So it wasn't, we played like Walt Whitman out west, and they had guys that were 6'5". We had our middle blocks were guys that were like 6. They were the tall guys. They were like 6'3", 6'4". Everybody else was like 6 feet and below. So I was an outside hitter. On any other team, I would have been a libero or a setter, but I had to jump, man. I tried to block, and I was a serve receive guy. So passed the ball 1,000 times before practice every day. It was nuts. Great workouts, though, man. I love it. I always tell everybody, go out there, play volleyball. It's a great sport. A lot of fun, too. I want to ask you about this fourth line, and Coop doesn't ever want to call it fourth line.
Oh, but he got super pissed at me when I called it that after the Nashville.
You did? Oh, man.
Well, see, because the thing is, because here, and I explained this to someone else because I called it the fourth line, and he was like, "Why you got to call it the fourth line?" And I was like, "Well, on the sheet it's the fourth line, but the real reason is
You guys put it there for. Did you see the other day when they switched it? Did you see that?
Yeah. But the thing is, when the real reason is like when I think of the Gord line, I don't think of that line, right? You know, when you think of the Gord line, you think of, you know, historically speaking, you think of
right.
You know, Blake Coleman, Barclay Goodrow, and you know the real third line, you know, of back in the day. So that's why I didn't call it the Gord line, because I thought in my head, and then it came out in post game, and he got on me, and I was like, but yeah. But yeah, that line's been great. I mean, and you can tell by their minutes. You know, I mean, they've honestly 3-4 games, they've actually had more 5-on-5 time than the top line. You know, and the Cirelli line too. So what it tells you is, one, they're getting a ton of, you know, zone time. They're playing that kind of way where, you know, the puck's on their stick a lot. They're winning battles, and you know, creating some. They're not creating a huge bunch of chances, but they're creating enough that it really is determining, kind of, you know, so to speak, tilting the ice, you know. And you know, I love that line. And like I said, I don't know, I think I asked, you know, Zemgus a few games ago, is like, what's interesting about it is those guys never really played before together, and all of a sudden, you know, here they are playing really well together. And you know, it's like, yeah, I just think that we're kind of play the same way, and you know, you can see that in the way they play. But you know, that I wish that line had a little bit more help in some of these games, to be honest, and in terms of the way they play, and you know, the way that the way they just kind of just dictate on the ice. You know, it's not just pace; it's just the way they dictate play on the ice has been. I don't know where this team would be without that line, to be honest. You know, right now.
Who needs to step up, Ed? I mean, who is it? Is it just as easy as Radish and Gonsalves? And do you think we're headed for those guys getting sent down?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, you know, you see Dastus and James, and I don't think they're going anywhere. I mean, Dastus has taken over, you know, kind of Darren's job, and at the second,
you can't take him out, right?
You know, no, you can't. Both of those guys have added so much energy into the room too. I think you'd hear a lot of the veterans say that too. You just can't. Like it's like that. I used to say, like, when I cover baseball, is like you always bring up this guy, like one of your top prospects. When you bring him up right after the All-Star break, you know, or like right before the trade deadline, when it's like you get this extra juice because you're already kind of in a chase. And you know, this team needed that when they were, you know, down, you know, what was it, you know, 2-4-1 or whatever it was, 1-2-3, what was 1-3-2. But yeah, they needed that, you know. You've obviously seen Gage's minutes kind of go down. I think he's, you know, he's having trouble getting on the ice for 10 minutes a game, you know, and that's what power play time on the second unit. So you see those two guys as kind of, you know, if there's, you know, quote unquote odd men out, like those are probably the guys. I mean, at the same time, like, it's really interesting what they're doing with Curtis Douglas. You know, I don't expect them to be moving him, and I expect them to be trying to run Jack Finley through waivers, because those guys are both going to get claimed, you know. But I mean, with Douglas, it was great to see him really play a role in a game a couple of nights ago. I think the first game of the road trip, he had a big screen, I think, on this one, I think the Cirelli goal, you know. And that's the thing, is like, he's not playing much. He's playing like 4, 5, 6 shifts a night. And so how much can you really tell about where this guy can be an NHL player? But when you see little stuff like that, you can kind of take note that he's got some stuff, you know. And I think they're going to, the tryout for him is going to be longer than this month, or at least through November 15th. When the Panthers, but you know, and then Finley, you know, that's the guy who kind of you feel the worst for, is like, this guy busted his ass to win a roster spot, and he's only played a few games. But yeah, when you look at it, you know, Nick Paul's coming back. I would expect him to be back, you know, maybe next week. And you know, Crozier's been back. Crozier comes back, and I think Crozier's only going to get better. I don't think he's, just because he lost a step on that breakaway on Ross Colton. I was talking to him when he was still coming back, and his big thing was just kind of getting back into game shape. So I think he's still doing that. You know, I mean, we've seen, you know, whether that was Yanni Gord when he came back to the Lightning and was coming back from an injury. You know, I think, you know, he was still getting back a step too, that, you know, maybe we didn't see early on when he came back. So I think we're gonna see more out of him too, and another level from him. So yeah, I think those are probably the two guys when you look at kind of the way that their playing times and roles have diminished. But one thing I do know is that the Lightning are so conscientious of the waiver wire and how much they choose the right times to send guys through, whether that was Chafee or, when we look back on it, we didn't even think about it back then, but when they did have to run Dastus through waivers, at the beginning of the season, and then called him up and as part of the Syracuse 6 that one night. So, but yeah, I mean, so he doesn't have to go through anymore. Obviously James, an entry level deal, you can send him down. I asked Cooper about that when I was asking about, when you guys make these decisions, how much is that, waiver exemption going to matter? And he really didn't have an answer for it. He was like, let's just wait and see.
Yeah.
So I think some of those things would be easy to do, but I don't think you can, I don't think there's any way that either one of those guys is coming out of the lineup.
Yeah, I'm with you, buddy. All right, before I let you go, let everybody know what's up on TampaBay.com and in the Tampa Bay Times right now, my brother.
Yeah, so obviously I'm not with the team right now, but I had a story, I think Wednesday, it's obviously on the website, but about Dan Highnote, the new assistant coach that the Lightning have, who's unlike any other guy, that you probably ever met. Big energy. You can tell, obviously he won a Stanley Cup in Colorado as a player. But one of the things that I'd noted that he does this, he did when he was an assistant in Nashville. He had Ryan McDonough was one of his players for his penalty kill unit, and basically he started collecting a bunch of action figures of like villains, basically like serial killers almost. I was like Chucky, Jason, all of a sudden, and basically the guys would, he'd keep track of everything, for the PKers, and basically like. He was like, I know it's kind of off brand here, but like, they're killers, right? So they're penalty killers, right? And so, but it became a thing there. Like, these guys would put these, Jason, Freddy, Pennywise, all this stuff at their lockers. And it was almost like these little trophies of, so he's a guy who thinks of different ways. He hasn't thought of one yet. He's still trying to feel out this room to kind of figure out how he wants to do things here. But he's definitely had an impact already, just in the way that, just the way he operates, a personality, and also just having a different perspective, different set of eyes, because we know the Lightning. He called joining the Lightning basically like jumping on a moving train, because they're those guys know each other so well. They operate almost in an autopilot mode. So it's good to get another set of eyes, and especially when it's a high energy guy like him. So have that online. Going to talk a little bit more about Curtis Douglas later on in the week. And when do they play again? Saturday. They can play tonight, and then Saturday against the Caps. So
all right, next week we got to have a discussion about Josh Hockey. No, Shannon says we have to. No, we're not doing that. Is that bad? Who's this person? We'll table it for next week.
We'll table it till next week. Yeah, it might take a while.
It might take a while, but you know what? What'll take a while? Make sure you go and subscribe to the Tampa Bay Times, man. TampaBay.com, TampaBay.com/sports. Support local. I tell you guys, especially right now, smack dab in the middle of Lightning season, Buck season, USF, and with Rays news trickling out and just everything going on in the Tampa Bay area, get a subscription for yourself. Get one for one of your loved ones. Gift it to somebody, man. You want to stay in line and in tune with everything that's going on in the Tampa Bay area, especially with our Tampa Bay sports teams. Ed, appreciate the time, my friend. Give my love to Raleigh, Shannon, and the entire fam, and I'll see you Saturday night, brother. I appreciate you.
For sure, buddy. Anytime. I will talk to you later.
All right, man. Better than Josh Hockey. That's what it is. Our guy, Ed Encina, the one and only. I want to find out this story. And, of course, when Shannon tells us, we got to make sure we bring it up next time. We need more time than we had today. Don't forget about reaching out to my friends over at Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, 813-244-0956 for all your residential and commercial needs. Bathroom, kitchen renovations, they can take care of you. You got a plot of land and you're looking to build a new home, they can take care of you as well. Russ is a USF grad. He's a Tampa Bay sports fan through and through. You know he is jacked up right now, waiting for this game tonight. USF, UTSA should be an awesome contest between these two, the green and gold. 4 games left in the regular season, and Russ is all over it. Again, he's a Tampa Bay sports fan just like you guys. These are the kind of people that you want to support. We were just talking about supporting local with Ed Encina and the Tampa Bay Times. Same thing with Honest Hammer, Custom Builders LLC, our very first partner here on the podcast. Russ, Hammer, whatever you want to call him. He's been with me for years. Listened to me on DAE, came over with us here on the podcast. We couldn't do this without him. He is the best. Thank you, Russ. And the way that you can thank him is by using him. Custom Builders LLC, the Honest Hammer Group, residential commercial needs, 813-244-0956, thehonesthammer.com. And let's not forget our friends over at EverHealth. We really have kind of stumbled on something great with the EverHealth injury report every single week with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez. It's such an informative segment that we have each week about all the injuries. And you see when we have the discussion, it's not just, we talk about the big injuries in the NFL and the NHL and all the different ones in sports, but also some of the stuff that is affecting young athletes here, or just how people recover and just looking at things in a different way. Go to everhealth.org. If you're looking for a new healthcare provider, they can hook you up. 17 different locations in Pinellas County, and the EverHealth Institute. That's one thing that I think is just absolutely unbelievable. And it reminds me a lot of the broadcasting school that I went to. On the job training. I mean, you're learning. And I was up there just looking at some of the rooms and just the dentist work and radiation technician and just all these different things that you can do. If you're looking for a career, EverHealth can help you out. Everhealth.org. Again, tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. All right, before I go, I just want to let you guys know. Last night, I saw one of the greatest athletes I think I've ever seen in my life. I'm watching the game. I got home from practice, and I didn't get a chance to see the Knicks beat the Wolves, which was a good thing. But then the game after that was Lakers and Spurs. So to see Luka Doncic do his thing, I mean, sucks not seeing LeBron, and I'm not a big LeBron fan, but I also, I appreciate greatness, and I know that these guys are not going to be here forever. And I'd rather watch LeBron on the court than off the court. Let's see what he can do, because he's just an absolute genius on the basketball court. You can't take that away from him. One of the greatest players of all time. But when I watch Victor Wembanyama on the court, this guy is doing things that I don't think I've ever seen anybody do, ever. He pump faked from the three-point line, literally took one huge step and dunked the basketball. He also blocked a shot yesterday where the guy shot the ball, and instead of, like, if somebody shoots the ball to you, you block it back at them, or somebody's shooting the ball and you block it from the side. This dude was able to, like, somebody shot the ball, right? So somebody shot the ball, and he, like, as soon as the ball left his hands, he almost blocked it in the same direction of the shot. I don't know how the hell he did that. It's amazing to see this guy play. He's got handles. He can shoot. He's amazing defensively. He's a good teammate. Like, just watching this guy, you can't look away. Like, he is must-see television. You don't have to be a basketball fan. When the Spurs are on, watch Victor Wembanyama. He's a freak athlete. They don't make people like that. It looks like he was created in a lab. He's like Frankenstein. I'm blown away just watching him play last night. Now he's got to be smarter, got to stay out of foul trouble. He's still learning. He's still a young kid. But holy smokes, man. When you watch Victor Wembanyama, you're just like, you're sitting there and you're just like, what the hell is he going to do next? He affects the game in such a huge way. Even though, guys, like, he's averaging like 4.7 blocks a game, which is unheard of. Unheard of. Dude, he's going to get a quadruple double. No doubt in my mind. Points, rebounds, assists, blocks. That is definitely going to happen at some point. He's done the 5 for 5, 5 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 steals. That's going to happen again. I just blown away. And I've seen him play before. This isn't the first time I've seen him play. But this is the first time I actually sat down and watched him play this year. I mind blown. The same feeling that I have when I watch Connor McDavid and I look at just the incredible athleticism and how they're just on a completely different level. I feel the same way with Victor Wembanyama. Go watch him. Go watch him. It's enjoyable. He plays the game the right way, passes the basketball. It's a good young team. They move the ball around a lot. Obviously, with Coach Mitch Johnson there, yeah, it's different not seeing Greg Popovich on the sideline, but with Castle and with Vassell and or Vassell and Zohan there last night. Sochan, don't forget what is a don't mess with the Zohan. That's one of my favorite movies ever. Kelly Olynyk, Harrison Barnes looked good last night, making some open shots, but the Lakers win. Rui Hachimura was able to do some good things. Bronny James was seeing some action. You got Austin Reeves with Luka Doncic and Dalton Connect, and as you know, DeAndre Ayton, former number 1 overall pick from the Suns, he's contributing. So it was a good contest last night. I'm a big NBA fan. I know it's not for everybody, but I thoroughly enjoy it. But watch Victor Wembanyama when you can. All right, it's going to wrap it up for me. I got to go. I got to get ready for the big night tonight. I love you all. Big thank you to Ed Encina for joining us on the program. A big thank you to our sponsors, Honest Hammer and Ever Health. I love you all. Go Bulls. Go Bolts. We'll see you tomorrow at noon right here on the Jay Recher Podcast.